I want to ask, what 2 or 3 things that will likely happen tomorrow are going to make you very happy?
That are likely to happen. Well, I think we kind of touched on one of them. You know, I've always been a big Scorsese fan, and certainly if The Irishman does well tomorrow, as I think it will, that's something that I would be happy about. I also, sticking with Netflix for a moment, really love Marriage Story, and I think that will also do well tomorrow with nominations, probably for Adam Driver, Scarlett Johansson, and almost definitely for Laura Dern, along with probably picture and director. And I'd be very happy if that holds true.
I think about 5 of... I think director is so competitive that he might not get a director, but I think 4 of those are sure things, as well as screenplay is going to be a sure thing for that. And he might even win.
Yeah, I think it will do very... I think Laura Dern's probably the front runner to win Best.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I'm going to, just to catapult on that, can I do my first of my 3?
Oh, sure.
I'm going to have to say Laura Dern is one thing that I think is going to be really exciting to see her win. I think stars build up a persona, and she's always seemed like this cool California chick who's really good at interviews. I'm unfamiliar with her work with David Lynch, but she was the star of one of my very favorite TV shows, and she made the show Enlightened. And also, she is the daughter of not just Hollywood royalty, like 2 stars who are like overpraised, but like 2 underrated stars, and it's kind of a half win for both their parents, Diane Ladd and Bruce Dern. And what's more is that they're both going to be alive to see her win. Like, Bruce Dern is the same age as Burt Reynolds, who died a year ago. Imagine if Burt Reynolds' daughter won an Oscar and he wasn't going to witness it. So they're both in good health. It's going to be a really kind of cool moment, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. You know, you go back to Mira Sorvino winning with her dad Paul in the audience and in tears.
Yeah.
I think it will be pretty similar. Bruce Dern, you mentioned Burt Reynolds. He actually, when Burt Reynolds died, Bruce Dern filled in for him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, so it all comes full circle, yeah.
Well, and speaking of full circle, she was a little girl, Laura Dern, on the set of Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore when Martin Scorsese was directing her mother, Diane Ladd.
Yeah.
So, you know, they say Hollywood sometimes has a small town quality, you know.
So what's your number 3 thing that you're going to be happy about tomorrow?
I don't know. I think Joaquin Phoenix, for all his shenanigans off screen, which become pretty tiring. I think he's a very talented actor. I think he was incredible in Joker. The film itself, I think, has some issues, but he was terrific, and if he gets a Best Actor nomination, as I expect he will, then I think it'll be an interesting battle between him and Adam Driver for the Oscar.
I think that it will be interesting because this will be around, I think this, let me try to think. Eddie Redmayne, Leonardo DiCaprio, Casey Affleck, Rami Malek. This will be the 5th actor in a row who will be around, I think, 40, give or take a year, or 30 to 40. Oh no, there was Gary Oldman. So a lot of times these actors go to like older actors like Rex Harrison or Colin Firth, who are like 50 or 60, because usually like Best Actor or Best Actress is like a crowning thing. So it'll actually be Leonardo DiCaprio's peer in age. And it's like this generation is finally getting their due. You know, Leonardo DiCaprio and Joaquin Phoenix both were like they were showing amazing potential around 2000. So I'm going to say, for my second thing, I'm going to say, Sam Mendes, I think is going to be interesting that he's in there again. I saw American Beauty 20 years ago, right? I thought it was a really depressing and disturbing film, especially because I was going through a time where, like, my friends were, like, smoking pot for the first time or whatever. I don't know. being exposed to like kind of like suburban like NUI or whatever, but I recognize the craftsmanship behind it, and he's been very solid for the last 20 years. So I think it's kind of cool to see him in the race again. I mean, he did an amazing job with the Bond franchise, so he's so very versatile. And my third thing is Scarlett Johansson.
Before I get away, yeah, I'd say he's very deserving for 1917. It's not only is it a technical achievement, but it's also a very thrilling, gripping film. So if he gets that, I agree with you. I think he will. It would be much deserved.
Yeah, just to see him in the race again, just to see him talked about again, And then, and he's also done theater, which I think is really admirable to jump back and forth between the two. And then Scarlett Johansson, I mean, she's been on the radar for Lost in Translation. She got so close, and then Match Point 2 years later. It seems like she's just been hacking away at it for years. She's always on my radar of like top, even stuff like Don John's Addiction or Her or whatever. She's always been on my radar. So this is like insane. I never thought she'd ever get it. A nomination. She could get 2 tomorrow. So, what are things that you're probably not going to be that thrilled about? Or you might?
Well, I don't quite get all the acclaim for Jojo Rabbit. I mean, I've loved Taika Waititi's earlier films, Thor Ragnarok, Hunt for the Wilder People, What We Do in the Shadows. But this one, I thought Jojo Rabbit was a misfire. It's not really sure what it's trying to be. Is it trying to be satirical, or is it trying to be kind of a heartfelt drama about the time? So, I mean, in a sense, I like him receiving an honor just because I think he's very talented. I just didn't think that it was his best work, and I think there are a lot of more deserving films to get a Best Picture nomination than Jojo Rabbit.
The only thing I can comment on Taika Waititi, because I'm unfamiliar with Jojo Rabbit, you seem to be poking my holes, but it's my fault. This is a film that I should be watching because I wanted to watch it. I was on vacation, and when I came back from out of the country where they're not going to show it, apparently my local theater didn't show it anymore, and I had to go all the way to like 12 miles away to Fairfax City. I have started watching What We Do in the Shadows, the television adaptation, and it's absolutely rolling on the floor like hilarious. So
yeah, it's very.
I do look forward to seeing the film. For me, I think, well, as I mentioned, I think Al Pacino, I'm kind of blasé about it. I do hope that Frozen 2 doesn't get nominated for any songs. I think that they're doing a thing like with Alan Menken where they're just awarding everything that they do. You have to keep in mind that that team of Anderson-Lopez, the husband and wife team, robbed Pharrell for Happy from Despicable Me, and then they robbed The Greatest Showman. And so I'm not like a music theorist. I don't know what specifically makes a winning song, but I think the other 2 songs have sort of had a better place in culture. So it just feels like it gives it like a Disney bump. I'm hoping Greta Gerwig might not, unless she's worthy, but I hope it's not an affirmative action thing.
No, it absolutely wouldn't be if she gets a nomination. Little Women was terrific. You would never guess that it's a 150-year-old story. She makes it vibrant. She makes it relevant. It just felt really alive. It was fresh. It was funny, and she would also be a very worthy nominee if she's included tomorrow.
The only thing is, the only positive about Little Women is that Meryl Streep's in it, and here's some stats for you. Meryl Streep has been in 6 Best Picture nominees to date, so that would up her total to 7. You know who the all-time leader is going to be tomorrow is Robert De Niro, because Joker and Irishman is going to add. I mean, the whole list is he's going to be in 11, and no active actor has been in that many films. Al Pacino has only been in 6, which is a pretty low number, and Irishman and Once Upon a Time is going to bump his number to 8. His last 2 Oscar-nominated Best Picture appearances were Scent of a Woman and The Insider. Then you have Dog Day Afternoon and The Three Godfathers, and that's it. And Godfather 3 was a bit of a questionable entry. I hope I'm not like overboring you with stats, but
No, it's a shame that he never didn't get nominated because you look back at 1995, and that's one of the films that still holds up from that year. But you're right.
and I think Serpico and Scarface also probably could have had nominations, and Justice for All, which he got nominated for an actor, but the movie didn't get nominated. It was a competitive year, so he's been in a lot of good movies.
1979, which was a very good film year.
Yeah, so but Meryl Streep I think has not been like Sophie's Choice didn't get nominated, Bridges in Madison County didn't get nominated, so like more of her work should be nominated. What do you think of I also saw Rocket Man. I would be disappointed if Taron Egerton gets nominated, not because I just feel like they're really just go gaga with musical biopics these days, and I just don't think he's anywhere near as deserving as Jonathan Pryce.
It's hard to compare him to Jonathan Pryce, but I think Rocket Man was certainly better than Bohemian Rhapsody was a year ago.
Yeah, that's a lot of films are better than Bohemian Rhapsody. I think we both agree on that.
Bohemian Rhapsody can get a Best Picture nomination. I didn't have a problem with Malick, but I did have a problem with the film getting Best Picture nomination. If that's the threshold, then yeah, Rocket Man is certainly a lot better than that.
You know what would also be... I think one thing I can't get over is Jennifer Lopez being an Oscar nominee. But I mean, this happens all the time. Like, if you go back to 2005, say, and someone would say Matthew McConaughey's going to be an Oscar winner, and Jonah Hill's going to be a 2-time nominee 10 years from now, no one would believe you. But it's not about the body of work, which I don't ever think Jennifer Lopez has been impressive as an actress, but that's kind of something that's a bit... the Oscars will survive it, but it's a little bit odd to think of Jennifer Lopez as an Oscar nominee. Do you ever get that feeling?
I thought she was terrific in Hustlers. I agree with you. It would have been weird to think of her as an Oscar nominee, not because of any lack of talent. She's very talented, but a lot of her choices have been subpar. A lot of the projects she's done. So this was Hustlers, or nothing else. You're watching and thinking, oh, she's finally in a good movie. I think she'll probably get a nomination. I don't know no, I think it's Laura Dern's year, but in and of itself, she's I think she's deserving. You just hope that from now on she'll pick better projects closer to Hustlers and further away from, let's say, Made in Manhattan.
Yeah. I mean, well, you always kind of saw her as a singer who was just kind of dabbling in movies like so many other singers, So, I mean, if she's deserving of it, then, what can you say? I mean, again, Matthew McConaughey, probably no one thought he was deserving before he started really making good movie choices and improving himself, as he said.
Yeah.
Do you have any final, okay, so I also want to say, one thing about the Best Picture nominee and stuff is that it really does give visibility. So the tragedy is that I actually think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a little better than maybe Two Popes, but Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is going to be remembered in 10 years no matter what. Especially if Quentin Tarantino is going to not make films 10 years from now. A lot of these smaller films like Two Popes or Farewell or, maybe Jojo Rabbit, if it didn't get nominated, would definitely be lost to public memory a little bit if they don't have that BP nomination.
Yeah, and actually going back to some of your earlier questions, Farewell is another film that I would love to see nominated for Best Picture and or Awkwafina getting a Best Actress nomination. And I don't remember her full name, but I think her last name is Zhao, the one who played the grandmother. She would also be a good selection. But I agree with you. Tarantino's films don't need any more publicity, but some of these smaller films could sure use it.
Yeah. And I hope 9 films get nominated. In years when 8 films get nominated, I always think, one film that really could have used it is going to miss out. So I hope it's not going to be... I think any 9th film is good for Oscar.
Well, they can go up because that they haven't. Because I'd rather
Yeah,
risking an undeserving one being there than to have one that is deserving be left out.
absolutely. Well, we're nearing the 15-minute mark, so we should probably log off for today. But good, happy hunting tomorrow on the Oscars. I hope that you get all your wishes come true.
Likewise.
All right.
And thank you. This was fun.
Thanks so much.